Welcome to the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Each week we will bring you inspiring tips, stories, and ideas to help you be all that you can be, discovering your greatness. Featuring Donna Tashton. Donna is a transformational life and health coach, a highly sought-after public speaker, and the founder of Vibrant Living. She has helped hundreds find a better life, free of stress and living the greatness they were truly designed for. And now, your host, Donna Tashton.
Welcome. This is Donna Tashton, and I would like to welcome you to You Were Designed for Greatness. This is podcast number 54, and I have a special guest. And we just found out today that we're neighbors. We've been LinkedIn friends and connecting that way, and we found out we're neighbors. So Shaquanda Gordon, please say hello.
Hello, everyone.
I am so happy we finally connected. This took a while for us to match our calendars with all of the busyness that's going on in the world. But why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you?
Yeah, so thanks again, Donna, for having me. Just a little bit about myself. I am actually originally from Illinois and moved to Michigan at a really, really young age. And went through all of my schooling here in Grand Rapids, went off to Western Michigan University, came back to Grand Rapids and pursued my degree at Davenport, and then just took up residence here, working for multiple companies here in the local area. I am a proud mother of a 10-year-old and just really love to be active and out and about and learning new things, seeing new places, and really enjoy spending time with my family.
Awesome. What did you get your degree in?
Yeah, so I have my undergrad is a bachelor's in a business administration with a concentration in human resources, and I have my MBA with a focus on human resource management as well.
Awesome. So, what has been some of the things that you have taken away from everything happening in the world? What's been happening with you?
Yeah. So, it's such a weird season in everyone's life. And at first, when you're stuck in the house every day, all day, you kind of get a little stir crazy. But then I started to think, what can I do with this energy? And it was an opportunity for me to do some self-reflection, which is what I typically do about, every, once a year or so. But this really allowed me an opportunity to sit back and reassess some things in my life. There's a lot of things going on, good and bad, in the world. You'll notice that, we've leveraged technology like we've never have before.
Right.
And so it's given me an opportunity to really get comfortable in that space, knowing that this may be the future of work for many of us.
Yep.
It's also been a time for me to just realize all of the things that I can actually do without. So having not been employed since April 10th, it's really allowed me to assess my wants versus my needs and really be able to understand how there's this minimalist attitude that you can get during a time like this, where it's like, I really didn't need that, or, I really don't have to have that, and I'm just fine. So just with everything going on, it's been really a great opportunity to just assess that. And so I've been grateful for that, and just being able to spend some true one-on-one time with my son.
Yes.
So, absent of the go to work, come home, get dinner done, all you have is dinner time. So it's really been great to be able to just have some really great one-on-one time with him.
It's amazing how amazing our kids are.
Yes.
When we take the time to listen to them and things like that, it's quite amazing. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things you discovered you didn't have to have?
Yeah, so I realized I didn't have to make as much money as I had done in the past. And a part of that was because there was some planning before, right? I've always been in a mindset where I don't want to be caught in the rain without an umbrella. Mm-hmm. So I was very intentional over the last 3 to 4 years with paying off or paying down my debt. And so that was truly a blessing for me, because as I sit here today, when I got the news in April that my position had been eliminated, it didn't cause anxiety for me. I knew that at worst, before I would have to tap into any of my long-term savings and whatnot, I had until January to get back to work. And so that was just a comfort for me.
Yeah.
I learned that I could do without all of the shopping that I normally do, because I have plenty of stuff in this house. You I learned that I could do without, I'm a social butterfly.
Yeah.
And I usually get my fill and my energy from being around other people. But I found other ways to fill my bucket. Watching different movies, those movies that give you high energy, doing stuff, getting projects done around the house gave me gratification versus always having to engage with another human being in order to fill that bucket. So there's a lot of things that you just realize.
I can relate to all of that with the space and being able to. A lot of people found themselves in your situation without an umbrella, if you will, and so their stress level was a little bit different. And also finding that we can really make connections using technology if we do it more intentionally. It's not just posting a thing on Facebook. And for me, one of the things I learned, it's not just making a post on Facebook. It's saying, let's have a virtual coffee date. Let's not just post and go and like each other's stuff, but let's really talk. And I have found deeper connections that way than I would have had because people were stuck at home and we could do that. And even if they were working, they didn't have the travel time that was required. And so there was more of that. But how many people, I think you discovered, is relationships was what was most important through it all. It's just all of the things that we might have bought.
Right.
And I'm a little bit naughty sometimes, I'm like, I didn't want to go out to eat until you tell me I can't. And now I want to.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'm a little naughty, but learning those kinds of things really, really make what matters most in life. It's really true. Yeah. We really got a lot of stuff. A lot of people did clean out and then had no place to take it.
Exactly. And that's where I found myself saying, I have all this stuff and there are no missions open to take this stuff. I held on to it for a little bit, but then when Goodwill opened up, I was right there in line saying, take all of this. So,
yes. So I've still got some stuff in the garage I've got to get out. But when we do some cleaning with everything. So did you get a new job?
I did. I'm very excited. So I'm pleased to share that I have accepted a role with Spartan Nash here locally. So I didn't have to relocate, which was another concern of mine. And I will be taking on the position of Vice President of Human Resources for their talent and diversity. And I start that next Tuesday.
That sounds like a perfect role with all of your information and education. It sounds like, and such an important topic right now.
Yes, it feels like the perfect role. Like when I read it, and there were some opportunities to be flexible in the role. And when I met with that leadership team, I was just blown away at, their camaraderie and their collaboration and just their foresight on what they wanted to see happen with the organization. And so that's really important to me. They had asked me a question, what do you need from a company? And I told them, I said, you want that company where you feel like you belong. Belongingness is really, really important to me. And I didn't know that until I started at a company where I didn't feel like I belonged. Mm-hmm. And then the second thing was that just that organization that has a clear strategic direction, like where are we going? What are we trying to accomplish? Yep. And then lastly is just an environment and an atmosphere of accountability. Do we hold our people accountable for delivering what we said we needed to deliver? And I really feel like I found that with Spartan Nash.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy for you. Taking the time to find the right job is so important. So That's wonderful. What have been some good influences in your life? Books you've read, people you've talked to, podcasts. What's been some positive influences in your life?
So Brene Brown is just, I love her. She just is everything. You know, she gives you those little snippets. I love her empathy little video that she has out on social media. I am a Patrick Lencioni fan. The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, The Speed of Trust, like all of those types of books where it's around teamwork and collaboration. Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg is one of my favorite books as well, just for women to be inspired and motivated to figure out, you know, how do we find our seat, take our seat in the corporate America. I actually have these Jesus Said daily devotionals, which kind of fill my bucket in the morning and at night, because again, I know, as we discussed earlier, you know, my faith is very important to me, and that's what keeps me grounded. I found that if I'm away from, you know, church or some type of worship for too long, I just kind of feel off. And so those daily devotionals really, really, really help me. There's this one book called Kingdom Woman that is just, it's phenomenal. It was life-changing for me.
I'm writing it down. Who wrote that?
Yes. Oh, it's 2 people. I'll shoot you an email.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's a mother and daughter. But that one has just, I read that it's probably been 5 years ago. And that one just changed my entire atmosphere. But, you know, there's so many different motivations. I typically can find influence from different people, all types of people. Whether they are doing something that is good and favorable, or those not so great things where you learn, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to come off like that. Right. And so those are the ones you really, really, really remember. And so that has really shaped me as a person, saying, I never want to make anyone feel the way I felt when they did that or said that, etc.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. Well, it's been so nice to be able to, and we're going to have to do an in-person coffee after we found out we live so close to each other.
Yes, I would love that.
What are some words of wisdom that you'd like to end with to the women that are listening there that have been struggling through all of this, and whatever comes to your heart? What would you like to share?
You know, mental health and having a good state of mental health is important. You don't realize how loud silence is until you're forced to be in a room. It's almost like you were locked in a room with open doors during this time. And, you know, my sorority has been doing a lot of work around just mental health and domestic violence and things of that nature. But what I say to the women out there is, one of the pivotal things that my father shared with me, I was probably about 21, and he saw these behaviors in me where it was a lot of codependency, right? And he finally told me, Pumpkin, because that's my nickname, he says, Pumpkin, you need to slow down and you need to figure out what makes you tick. And at 21, you're like, I have no idea what that means. Yep. But as I grew, I totally understand what he was saying. And so I made it a point from that day forward to understand what made me tick. What do I like? What do I dislike? Why do I like those things? Why don't I like those things? Yep. Because it allows you to make some sound decisions when you truly know what makes you tick. Yep. You truly understand who you are and whose you are, right? Yep. And it gives you this courage to be unapologetic about how you show up. And I'm not saying in a, obnoxious type way, like in a true sense of authentic.
I get it. Yep.
So, yeah, that's what I would share with women. You know, don't be afraid to just be you and figure out what that you is.
One of my favorite scenes in a movie, it's called Runaway Bride with Julia. And it's at the end of the movie, and she continued to run away because she became a chameleon to whatever guy she was with.
Yep.
And she's sitting at a table in a restaurant, and she's got all these different kinds of eggs. She's got scrambled eggs, poached eggs, fried eggs. I don't know, eggs Benedict, all these different kinds of eggs. And the guy goes, "What are you doing?" And she said, "I'm trying to figure out what I like. When I was with Fred, I ate scrambled eggs. When I was with Joe, I ate this kind of eggs." And she goes, "I don't even know what I like." And there is so many of us that we have done that for people around us, jobs, family, that we don't even know what we like. And we haven't done, I love that, unapologetically. What do I like? And be bold enough to be able to discover it and then begin to be it.
Absolutely.
So I love it. And that's my phrase I say all the time. Remember whose you are and who you are.
Yes.
So yes, I love, love, love that. So thank you so much for coming and sharing with our listeners today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm really pleased with this whole, what you're doing. It's so great to just know that there's someone out there that wants to take the time to just fill women's buckets on a regular basis. And I really appreciate your work.
Thank you very much.
What a great conversation today. Be unapologetically you. And one thing I want to say in closing is, if that is a challenge for you, if the pain or difficulty in your past, in your childhood, has prevented you from being who you truly think you're meant to be, I would love to have a conversation with you. I help hundreds of women all the time to be able to step into their greatness, to leave the past behind, and be who you were created to be. You can talk to me simply by going to my website, iVibrantLiving.com, click on the Schedule Online tab, and choose a strategy session, which is complimentary for you as a listener. I look forward to talking to you, and until next time, this is Donna saying live and love vibrantly.
Thank you for joining us on this powerful episode of the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Please share this with others who might enjoy it. For more info on Donna Tashjian or to contact her, visit iVibrantLiving.com.